YouTube is one of the most powerful social media platforms when it comes to gaining targeted traffic to help grow your business, get more customers and more sales through creating pieces of content once that can keep bringing people in down the line for years to come. So it's one of the best platforms. It's one of our favorite platforms. And in this video, I'm gonna walk through how you as a business owner can best leverage YouTube to get the most from it, specific to you and your business without a ton of effort. So let's get right into it. So first of all, let's start with why you want to be creating YouTube content. And that's because there are so many benefits that come with using this platform. The first is the long content lifespan. So like I said before, if you make a video today and it does well and it ranks high within search, it can stay there for years to come, which is bringing in targeted traffic to you and your business for years to come from one upfront bit of work. Plus, YouTube is a true search engine, meaning people can actively search for specific content. And if you've done the things right that we're gonna walk through in this video, they can find your video and not your competitor's video, obviously helping you and your business. Plus, a lot of people don't realize this, but videos can also rank within Google. So a lot of business owners obsess with Google and Google ranking, but creating YouTube content is a sneaky little way to start getting some of that positioning on Google. And we all know that high intent traffic matters a lot. So a lot of people focus strictly on Google because of the high intent search-based nature, but YouTube is an increasingly important platform to be focusing on as a business owner for the same reasons you would want to use Google. But when it comes to using YouTube, the video functionality of it allows it to be far more immersive and people are far more connected to video than they would be just written words. So we're gonna walk through how you can best leverage this to maximize your business. So the first thing you wanna make sure to do is to structure your content and your strategy around the pros of using YouTube specifically. So because it is a search engine, we want to create content that is already being searched for. So we know if people are searching for this specific phrase or what is called a keyword, that they're looking for a purchasing decision or some sort of discovery to then make a purchasing decision. So basically, we're trying to get into the mind of your customer and think what they would be typing into Google or YouTube before making a purchase. And what you want to do as the business owner is to create content around that specific topic, or again, keyword, to ensure that YouTube knows that that video is highly relevant to that search keyword, which dramatically increases the chances of you ranking within search so that you're one of the first videos shown when someone actually types that into YouTube. And it is so important to be one of those top few searches because just like over on Google, if you're on page 2 or 3, no one's gonna find your video through YouTube, and it actually makes a massive difference being 1 or 2 when it comes to ranking within search. And we're gonna walk through how you can actually do that for yourself to rank 1 or 2 for the keywords you're trying to target. So what are the keywords that you want for your business? Start to think about phrases that people would type in to YouTube. So literally anything. So let's say you're a gym. So a great place to start is gym in this area, best gyms in this area. All those are different keywords. And literally as a business owner, I would go through and brainstorm all the different potential terms that you think people will be searching in. If you've already done this research for Google specifically, it will transfer over to here as well. And chances are, if they're searching for it on Google, people are also searching for it here. And like I said before, it can also even rank in Google. So you definitely want to use all those terms that your customers search before coming and making a purchase. And we're going to walk through 2 tools that you can use to conduct this keyword research to find these high intent keywords or search terms to make sure that people are actually searching for this so that when you make the video, there is an audience for it. So the first tool is completely free and it's just the YouTube search bar. So if you've ever come over to here in the past, which obviously you have been on YouTube because you're watching this video, if you type in anything and it starts to auto-populate, that's based off of previous search history from other users on YouTube. So let's use the same example. So we'll say best gyms in Toronto, okay? So because I typed that in and it auto-populates, that shows you that these are actually being searched for. So the number that you're seeing right here is from an external tool, which we'll cover in a later video. So subscribe so you don't miss that. But if it even populates at all, that means people are searching for it on YouTube. So it could be a great video topic for you to make and target all of the different things we're gonna cover in this video around that specific phrase, because the more relevant that you are, YouTube loves relevancy, and it is a huge, huge factor in terms of ranking on search. So we now know just from right here, best gyms in Toronto is one worth making. And if you were a boxing gym, then best boxing gyms in Toronto would absolutely be one that you'd want to make too. So really get into the mind of yourself as the business owner, but also any question or anything that your ideal customer would be searching for, and try to type it in a way that it auto-populates on YouTube. That is reassuring to you that people are actually searching for that, and you probably want to make a video on that subject. So I would spend a bit of time here, create a long running list, typing in every possible thing that you think people are searching for, and writing all of these keywords or search phrases down to then later make content around those specific phrases. So go through this and do that whole process. And then the other tool we're gonna cover is my favorite YouTube tool, which is VidIQ. So if you click right here, you'll see that this is already on my YouTube experience because I have this Chrome extension downloaded and I do pay for VidIQ on a monthly basis. But if you come down here, you click this, then you'll see all of the different tools that you have at your disposal. So for this part of the whole YouTube strategy process for your business, you'd be using the keyword inspector tool. So for here, I would then come in and type in a similar phrase and a similar approach to what we were talking about before. So maybe it's gyms in Toronto. Let's do that, okay? We'll do gyms in Toronto. And then from here, what it does, which is amazing, is it starts to populate a ton of other phrases that you may want to make that are associated with the primary keyword that you typed in here. So because we have gyms in Toronto, VidIQ is smart enough to start recommending all different things associated with that, okay? So all of these things are different potential terms that you'd want to target. And why I love VidIQ so much is because they actually quantify what these terms mean in terms of potential traffic by showing you some very important numbers. So most used keywords in the top 10 trending videos. So obviously with this being a super niche subject, not a lot of people are gonna be having used these, but the search volume is very, very important because this gives you a specific number as to how many people are searching for that specific keyword into YouTube every single month. Imagine if you could get an extra 1,000 highly motivated people seeing you and your business every single month because you made a video once. It's very, very powerful stuff. And that's why you should absolutely be leveraging YouTube. Plus competition is a huge thing too. It's gonna give you a low, a very high, medium, just a ranging scale based on how much competition is out there for specific keywords. And obviously that will be completely dependent on how niche of the keywords you're using are, plus the level of competition within that niche as well. And then an overall score is something that is given to you by VidIQ to help you make a best decision as to how maybe you want to prioritize the attack of all of these keywords. So I would take the same approach that we took over on just the YouTube search bar, but why VidIQ helps so much is because it actually is going to give you suggestions based on the search terms that you put in. Plus you also have those juicy numbers to really help you come with a targeted approach and maximize your time while going through this whole process. And again, as you're doing this, I would absolutely write these down so that you don't lose them later or forget about them, but you can also highlight them in here and you can copy to clipboard or download as a CSV file. So either way, write them down if you prefer learning that way or remembering that way, or they make it very easy to just highlight them all and copy. But definitely don't forget to do that. You wanna have this list because even if you don't film them all at once, you wanna be able to easily come back, access this information, and make the content. So at this point, we now have a ton of topics for videos that we would want to be ranking on, and we would want to be the first result when people type that into Google or to YouTube, because we know that that phrase is likely our ideal customer, and we know that they're close to making a purchasing decision, which makes them incredibly high value for us. So we want to make sure they're finding us. So the next piece to make sure we have our best chance of ranking for these keywords is to do the fundamentals we're going to walk through right here. So to walk you through every single step, I'm going to do this whole process live. So if I were to do the same example of the gym in Toronto for the sake of this video, so you come to the back end of the YouTube and all you would have to do is click your top right icon right here and then to YouTube Studio. You can also just click the upload button right from here, but I'm going to walk through it in the back end within YouTube Studio. Then we're going to click create. And then from here, you're just going to have to upload the video that you created. And for most of these videos, if they are information-based, a simple talking head video will absolutely be enough, and you don't even really need super high production quality. So obviously I'm filming on a great camera right here, but you could get away absolutely with filming this on your phone. I would actually stress more on the audio quality, so maybe investing into an external mic for your phone, but this is absolutely more than powerful enough to shoot HD video that people will watch. So focus more on the audio for this. But once you've made the video, you've made a talking head video or whatever it makes the most sense for your specific business, you then will have to upload that file onto here like this. So I'm just gonna pick a random video file, because again, this is just an example. I would then upload this to YouTube. YouTube will then do its thing, starting to upload it. And then you're given all of these different, what they call details, or what I call as a YouTube marketer, metadata or data. So these are all the different things that YouTube is scraping through to determine relevancy or what the video is really all about. So they actually are sophisticated enough to go through and listen to what you're saying within the video and kind of determine what the video is and what it isn't. But you make their job substantially easier by filling in the appropriate metadata into the fields that they give you. So the first is the title. So here is where you'd want to actually include the keyword that we're targeting for this video. So for the example I said earlier, we're doing a video on the best gyms in Toronto. So including the keyword is a great first step, but this should be written as if it is a title that you're trying to compel them with. So we want to include the exact keyword because that is called front loading the keyword, which means including it as early in the title as possible, which is a key indicator of relevancy. But keep in mind that it's not just a computer that is making this decision. A computer decides where it's put, but it only stays there if the people on the other side of the screen click it. So with that understanding, we want to write this in a way that it's compelling for a potential person who is looking for this kind of content. So best gyms in Toronto, I love to include what I call a psychological trigger. And that's really just kind of, again, speaking to the mind of the potential customer. So for here, best gyms in Toronto, I like to think about what would they be searching for? So how I can add relevancy using a few different tools. The first would be potentially adding in the year. So we'll say 2022. That way people know that it's current, which is also huge. And secondly, maybe adding in that psychological trigger I mentioned, like make the right choice. Something like that, because obviously somebody who is searching this up is in the mind frame of they're looking to make a purchase. So get thoughtful here in terms of how can I take this title to the next level to actually create some urgency and some demand for this content, making it far more compelling. So think about including the keyword, absolutely, but we do want to think about relevancy here in terms of capturing their attention and also making it enticing for the click. So this is a great quick example of a title. Definitely experiment with this, but include the fundamentals that I just covered over the last minute or so. And if any of that was confusing, I strongly recommend rewatching that and letting me know any comments you have in the description box down below. A good rule of thumb here as well to keep in mind is that titles will get cut off after 60 characters on mobile devices and depending on where they show up on YouTube for other users to find. So keep that in mind. I usually stress for people to keep their titles under 60 characters, but there are situations where it will make sense to go longer. Just keep that in mind that there will be situations where things won't be shown if it's longer than 60 characters. Obviously, use that information accordingly and structure your titles accordingly as well. So the next step in this process that I usually do is actually go down to tags, and here VidIQ can help you out again, actually. So once you go through and you set this title up, VidIQ will then start to do its thing and suggest relevant tags. So tags are another element of metadata that YouTube uses to determine relevancy for topics, keywords, and videos themselves. So here you're going to want to include the primary keyword, so the primary search phrase that we're making this video about, as early as possible. So it's going to be best gyms in Toronto. I would include that again as early as possible. It's called front loading once again. And then from here, it's going to recommend a ton of other relevant associated keywords. What you want to do as the YouTube creator is to include as many highly relevant keywords and search phrases within the tag section, but never compromising on relevancy. So what I mean by that is a lot of people will come in here and throw totally irrelevant things that they think will help get them more traffic. So for example, let's say if you're a gym and you throw in hashtag Arnold Schwarzenegger, or you include that as one of the tags. From a novice perspective, that would make sense. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger is a highly searched topic. If I include that in my video, it's going to do fantastic. That's not the case at all. In fact, that's actually only hurting you because what you're doing through doing that is you're confusing YouTube and you're bringing down that level of specificity and relevancy to the specific topic that we're targeting. So you want to be highly, highly relevant and highly targeted to the specific phrase and a keyword of this video. So best gyms in Toronto, we want it to be all very relevant to that. And as you can see right here, these are highly relevant. So if you use the free version, you'll get those 3 recommendations of tags that are now going to be specific to the search phrase or the title of the video. And if you do pay for the paid version and you want to boost the video, which is what they call the feature of giving you more of these recommended tags, you're then going to see a lot more populated here, which can save you a bunch of time, but you can also do this externally using the YouTube search bar once again, and you can probably build off the search that you've already done or the research that you've done in the previous section of this video where we were finding all the topics that we're going to use. So the process here once again is to fill this in with as many highly relevant keywords, ideally that people are searching for, that are all, again, highly, highly relevant to the specific video. The more specific we can be to this topic right here, the higher likelihood that we're gonna hit enough of the relevancy indicators that YouTube cares about to give ourselves the best opportunity to be one of those top few videos ranking when people type in that specific search phrase. And as a business owner, that's really what we care about here, is capturing what I call digital real estate of these high value, high purchase intent keywords that people are searching for that we know can be customers quickly. They're high value, they're warm leads, and we want to be the faces that they see when they type this in. So go through, you get 500 characters here, focus on relevancy to the topic itself, and try to get as close to that 500 as possible, never sacrificing relevancy. Okay, so that's the second stage. And then after we've done this and we've filled this out completely, so what I would go do here is start including the tags that we want to highly cover here also in the description. But again, a human being is going to be reading this, so we don't just want to spam keywords into here. We actually want to be thoughtful about how people are reading this. Plus, a huge pro tip here is the first 2 lines of the description of a YouTube video in certain areas on YouTube can actually be read. So that is a missed opportunity by a lot of YouTube creators, is that they don't optimize their description, understanding that it is an additional touch point that you could potentially sell someone by writing it in a compelling way. And also we can take that further by including keywords speaking to YouTube to increase our chances of ranking. So I typically start with just including the keywords that I have. And so I usually say, in this video, we will be highlighting the best gyms in Toronto. So that would already achieve the purpose. We've now included the best gyms in Toronto, and anybody who sees this being shown up as a potential option before they click, they can see that it will be also highly relevant. What I would then also do is go down and select a few of the other keywords that are a big focus of ours. So let's say we were doing gyms in Canada, gyms Canada. Again, this is just a very loose example. We want to be highly relevant here and specific to your business. But let's say, wondering what gyms in Canada cost. This video will run through your best options for gyms in Toronto and show you what you will get for your money. I'm doing this live, so definitely give this a little bit more thought. But the process would be very straightforward and definitely highly repeatable. I would go through here and I would write this for a human being, but also being thoughtful about including the keywords that we want to target for this specific video. So obviously it's gonna include the primary keyword, and then I would say try to aim for about 3 to 5 additional, what I call secondary keywords that you do wanna try to sprinkle into the copy or the text within the description. Again, this just gives you another check in the eyes of YouTube when they do scrape through all the metadata in the video itself, determining relevancy, which plays a massive role with ranking within search. So go through, do that, write this for a human being, include 3 to 5 secondary keywords in addition to your primary keyword, and that will be a huge help in terms of ranking within search for these specific video topics that we are creating. Then you also want to make sure to include any relevant links, either to your website, to your other social channels, whatever you may want to include, whatever can help facilitate that purchasing decision. Be sure to include that within the description box of this associated video. And then you can actually even take this a step further, is once this video is live, I strongly recommend going to the video itself and leaving whatever the most important link is within the pinned comment of that video. So it's very straightforward to do that. You just click this link, comment on your own video, and then click the little 3 dots and then pin it. Okay, so that's a tip that I recommend doing on every single video. It's just more additional touch points and real estate that you can have as the video creator, which can help facilitate purchases, which obviously help move your business forward and improve your bottom line. So all the factors that we've covered to this point are what we would call YouTube SEO fundamentals. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. And we have now optimized this video. If you go through and complete the whole process, you've optimized this video around your specific desire, which is to rank for certain keywords. But even if you rank for a keyword, which you likely will if you follow all these steps correctly, once you get that ranking positioning, if people don't click and watch your video, you will not stay there very long. So all of these fundamentals that we've walked through, they will get your videos ranked. Absolutely, if you do this correctly and you do it enough, your videos will rank in, say, the top 3 or the top 4. But if people don't click them and watch them, they won't stay there, and they definitely won't move up. So the huge element that cannot be overlooked is the importance of a custom thumbnail. So that is the little image that you see when there is the option to click a potential video. And that is incredibly important, and probably the area where the most business owners mess up or they just don't get right. And because they're not getting a high enough click-through rate, which is the amount of people who are exposed to your video versus how many people click, if that number is not high enough, you're not gonna stay ranking high, and you're definitely not gonna move up like I said. So what you want to do is to ensure that you're always making a custom thumbnail. So real quickly, some best practices for creating a YouTube thumbnail is that usually an expression that's associated with the topic of the video is going to be great. So if this is best gyms in Toronto, maybe it's a smile or a pointing, something like that to really captures people's attention. Statistics have shown on YouTube that thumbnails that have faces in them, especially with expressions, perform better than those without. The next piece that you want to make sure to include is not a ton of text. If you are going to include text within the thumbnail, don't include too much, because you have to remember it's typically going to be viewed on a mobile screen. So how you see it in your graphic design software or however you're making this, it's not gonna look that way because it won't be as blown up as you're seeing it while you're creating it or even when you attach it to the video. So you have to keep that in mind. And then also, you do want it to be complementary to the title, okay? So what I mean by that is there are some situations where you could really literally just regurgitate best gyms in Toronto and have that, but a great thumbnail builds off of the title. So what I mean by that is they should be complementary because obviously people already know that this is the best gyms in Toronto because they read it. So by simply regurgitating it again in the thumbnail, it's kind of a wasted opportunity. So instead I would try to build on what would really encourage someone to want to click that video. So maybe it's a still from the coolest part in your gym or something that is obviously unique to gyms that people will then be curious about and definitely want to click the video. Think about building intrigue and urgency by highlighting and telling a story that is complementary to the title. And I know that's kind of confusing, but again, just try to rewatch that if that was confusing and leave any questions that you have in the comment section down below because your ability to create a high click-through rate will have another huge impact in how highly you rank and how long you rank for. Okay, so custom thumbnails, you always want to make sure to do that because click-through rate is so important. And if you guys would like a tutorial on how to go through and make basic thumbnails in a quick fashion, let me know in the comment section down below. I can definitely bring that video for you on this channel. Some great tools to create specific and custom thumbnails are things like Canva, which is a completely free tool that allows you to do some very sophisticated graphic design incredibly easily. And I strongly recommend giving them a try because custom thumbnails make a massive difference. So then go through and execute all of these YouTube SEO best practices for each of the topics that we previously researched in the first step of this process. Basically, what I want you to go through and do is capture as much of this digital real estate as possible, which are all high purchase intent keywords with some proven search coming in every single month that we would benefit from ranking for. So go ahead and make all those videos. Make the videos as compelling and entertaining as possible. Some of them obviously won't be super compelling because they're very action oriented or very information oriented, but always make them entertaining when possible. Then if you're looking to grow this channel beyond just the purposes of strictly making sales from high purchase intent direct keywords, you're obviously gonna have to broaden your scope that is still gonna be related to your business, but more of attracting a wider audience, which may show up in places like browse and suggested. But for here, why I recommend taking this approach for business, because this is very actionable, it's very repeatable, and all of these things have the potential to bring you a ton of business for a long time to come. And it all comes from doing a bit of work up front. So I strongly recommend building that list and then going through and making every single one of those videos, executing this strategy, and then watch it come in over time. Definitely be patient. It can take months and sometimes even years for videos to catch on. So don't get discouraged. I'd recommend doing this over a few weeks, banging out all these videos, having them, and then releasing them out as you can, whether it be 1 a week, 2 a week, whatever, and just continue to throw them out there and capturing more of this digital real estate, which can funnel in customers for your business. So if you do all this correctly, let me show you what this would look like. So if you say best gyms in Toronto, we're gonna type that in. So if we go in and do this, and you can come in and see right here, and this is actually another huge pro tip, is if you type something in, go look at the top ranking videos and look at how compelling the titles and thumbnails are. Typically, there's gonna be reasons behind this, and this can be great inspiration for you creating your titles and thumbnails to make them more compelling, because the videos that are ranking here, they're doing so because they have a high click-through rate, and also people are sticking around and watching the videos. Those are the two most important metrics, period, when it comes to YouTube and especially with search. So come in here for inspiration, and then here's what you're gonna see. So again, this is a great example of a thumbnail, right? So $20 gym versus a $300 gym. So what that does is it creates intrigue because now they're gonna see what's behind that video. But this is also very important to understand. So I typed in best gyms in Toronto, but the second ranking video isn't even about gyms in Toronto, right? Like, it doesn't even include it in the title. So by us making videos specific for these topics, it improves our likelihood of ranking for this specific phrase, okay? So if we do our jobs correctly, our goal is to rank within the top 3 for a very specific reason. Obviously, I just typed this in, and I'm probably gonna pick one of the first 3. Because for me not to, I'd have to get through all these very compelling videos that YouTube knows are highly relevant to that search phrase or that keyword. So you wanna make sure to get in these top 3, and if you do other things correctly, you're gonna give yourself a good opportunity to get within the top 3 or 4, and then based on your video's performance, you can stay there or even move up. But that's what it will look like if you do everything correctly. You could be one of these videos that people are seeing, and you could see how important that could be in terms of converting them from a viewer that wants to make a purchase to a customer who makes a purchase with you in particular. So rewatch this video if anything was confusing, make your list, make all of those videos, edit them together, and then go perform the YouTube SEO best practices for each specific video, and then roll them out with custom thumbnails and awesome titles, and you will start bringing in customers, sales, and more people into your business. If you're looking for more help with marketing your business online, don't forget to subscribe to Bunny Media, which is this channel right here, because that's what we're obsessed with. We want to help you grow your business online by leveraging the right tools the right way. So be sure to subscribe and hit that bell button so you never miss a video that can help take your business to the next level. And if you want more videos specifically on YouTube, definitely let us know in the comment section down below. We do read through every single comment, and they play a huge role in which videos we make next. And if you're still at the phase where you don't even know how to start a YouTube channel, but you want to get started, watch this video we just linked right here. We walk through exactly how you can get your channel up and running in under 5 minutes. So go ahead and click that video. It walks you through every single step, and it's very, very easy. I'll see you over there.